This is Nightline and I am Natasha Busst. News making the headlines. 25 charges of corruption and money laundering. Datuk Seri Najib ordered to enter defence. And 1.8 billion ringgit paddy fertilizer scandal. Company marketing executive remanded for 4 days. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong, His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim, and Raja Permaisuri Agong, Her Majesty Raja Zayed Sofia, extended their Deepavali greetings on Wednesday to Hindus in the country. Their Majesties conveyed their wish through a post on the Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar Facebook page. Sultan Ibrahim also expressed hope that the light of Deepavali will fill the life of all Hindus with joy, prosperity, and happiness. Also wishing all Hindu devotees was Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. The Prime Minister also emphasized the importance of fostering respect and understanding among the various communities in Malaysia.
Hari ini menanda dari sudut sejarahnya dan pengajaran ialah kemenangan dari kezaliman, kegelapan kepada cahaya, kebenaran dan keadilan. Mudah-mudahan kita sambut dengan meriah di kalangan rakyat Malaysia dari berbagai kaum, berbagai agama, sama-sama sambut kemeriahan dan kegembiraan. Terima kasih. Nandri.
Anwar said this in a short Deepavali video message posted on his Facebook page. He also called on Malaysians to use this opportunity to strengthen unity among the different races and find common ground, while also enhancing compassion towards those living in poverty and hardship. Anwar also expressed hope that this Deepavali celebration would be marked by a spirit of renewed and enlightened thinking, uplifting the dignity of the entire nation. The Festival of Lights will be celebrated on Thursday. The Kuala Lumpur High Court on Wednesday ordered Datuk Seri Najib To Give to enter his defence on 25 charges of corruption and money laundering involving nearly 2.3 billion ringgit of One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB funds. Trial Judge Datuk Colin Lawrence Sekera made the ruling after finding that the prosecution had established a prima facie case against the former Prime Minister on all the charges at the end of the prosecution's case. When delivering his verdict, Justice Sekera stated that the court found the charges against Najib to be valid and correct in law. The Court of Appeal judge, who presided as High Court judge, took about 2 hours to read out his judgment, dissecting each and every charge against Najib in the trial and giving the reasoning behind his ruling. Justice Sekera further said that the court also found that all the charges were not vague as contended by the defense. He also noted that the 25 charges spelled out the dates, locations, and alleged offences clearly and fulfilled all the legal criteria as required under the Criminal Procedure Code. The judge also rejected the contention that the accused was prejudiced or misled by the charges. The court also held that the credibility and integrity of certain witnesses remained intact, adding that their testimonies on the accused's role in the 1MDB scandal were consistent and showed no motive to frame him. Justice Sekera also highlighted that Najib was the ultimate decision-maker in 1MDB and played a key role in its establishment. The former finance minister also did not file any police report regarding the alleged involvement of other individuals in the misappropriation of 1MDB funds. The judge also ruled that the defence's claims of bias and shoddy investigations surrounding the 1MDB case involving Najib lack merit. The former Pekan Member of Parliament is standing trial on 4 counts of abuse of power and 21 of money laundering involving 2.28 billion ringgit in 1MDB funds deposited into his AmBank accounts between February 2011 and December 2014. For the power abuse charges, Najib faces up to 20 years in prison and a fine of either 5 times the amount of the bribe or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher upon conviction, while the money laundering charges provide for a maximum fine of 5 million ringgit and imprisonment of up to 5 years or both if found guilty. Najib's counsel, Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi'i Abdullah, then informed the court that his client has chosen to give sworn evidence from the witness stand. The court scheduled the trial to resume on December 2nd and fixed 97 days to hear the defence's case. Now, Najib's defense team in the 1MDB case plans to call at least 11 witnesses, including the former Prime Minister, during the defense stage of the trial.
There are some witnesses that will be put on a witness statement. Like Datuk Sri Najib, we are trying to put it on a witness statement. But there are some other witnesses that will be subpoenaed. That means they are forced to come. Those witnesses will be witnesses that will be a free fall.
Although he accepted the High Court's decision, Shafi'i expressed disappointment, believing that his arguments were not given serious consideration by the trial judge. The lawyer also stressed that Najib's apology over the 1MDB fiasco was in no way an admission of guilt, contrary to claims by the opposition.
Datuk Sri Najib apologized that the 1MDB debacle happened during his watch. He's not saying that I did it. He's not saying that. He has to apologize because he's number one.
Last Thursday, in a statement read out by his son, Datuk Muhammad Nizar, Najib issued an unreserved apology to Malaysians over the 1MDB financial scandal, which led to his incarceration following his conviction in a separate trial for misappropriating 42 million ringgit from former 1MDB unit SRC International Sendram Berhad. Meanwhile, AMNO President Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi stated that the Kuala Lumpur High Court's ruling requiring Najib to enter his defence provides the former Prime Minister an opportunity to prove his innocence. In a statement on his Facebook page, the Barisan Nasional chairman said the ruling does not imply that Najib is guilty of the charges related to abuse of power and money laundering involving 1MDB funds. He added that AMNO and BN also believe Najib is in the right and will continue to support the former Pekan MP to ensure he receives justice. Zahid also said that this stance was taken without any intention of challenging the High Court's decision. He also expressed hope that those actually responsible for the 1MDB debacle would be brought to justice. A company marketing executive has been remanded for 4 days to facilitate investigations into an alleged cartel in the distribution and supply of paddy fertilizer contracts worth 1.8 billion ringgit. Agriculture and Food Security Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Sabu has confirmed that the probe involves the National Farmers Organisation, NAFAS. The remand order was issued by the Putrajaya Magistrates Court on Wednesday following an application by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC. According to sources, the man in his 30s was detained while providing his statement at the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya on Tuesday evening. The investigation centers on alleged irregularities in the award of a 15,000-ton paddy fertilizer supply contract worth approximately 60 million ringgit to his company in 2022. Checks revealed that the company in question has been dormant in Malaysia for the past 8 years, while its parent company is based in Singapore. The source added that the contract, reportedly issued through direct negotiation, has raised red flags as it is believed to have been granted by a directive from the organization's top officials without board approval. This follows a report on Tuesday that the graftbuster had launched an investigation into the alleged cartel believed to be involved in the distribution and supply of paddy fertilizer contracts linked to a ministry. The matter was also confirmed by MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki. Meanwhile, Mohammed stated that the Agriculture and Food Security Ministry is prepared to assist the MACC in its probe into the alleged cartel involved in the distribution and supply of paddy fertilizer contracts worth 1.8 billion ringgit. He said that he welcomed the MACC's investigation on NAFAS, adding that his ministry will provide full cooperation on the matter. It was reported that the MACC has conducted a series of raids over the past 2 days around Kuala Lumpur, including at the organization's headquarters, the ministry, and 9 companies awarded related projects. In Johor, police have recovered 7.2 million ringgit from the estimated 20 million ringgit ransom money paid by the family of a businessman who was kidnapped on October 13th. Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Department CID Director Datuk Sri Muhammad Shuhaili Muhammad Zain said that the recovered ransom included 1.95 million ringgit in cash, 1 million Singapore dollars and 1.7 million ringgit worth of cryptocurrency. Speaking at a media conference in Johor Bahru on Wednesday, Shuhaili stated that so far 14 individuals aged between 23 and 58 have been detained in connection with the case. However, police are still investigating the motive and mastermind behind the kidnapping of the businessman, who is a real estate developer.
Selain daripada itu, kita juga dapat menemui satu pucuk pistol berjenama Petro Barita bersama dengan 250 butir peluru hidup, ya, dan sepasang gari lah. Dan daripada 14 orang ini kita berjaya mengenal pasti beberapa peranan yang dimainkan oleh 14 orang ini.
Regarding the family member of the victim who is among those arrested, Muhammad Shuhaili declined to reveal further details as investigations are still ongoing. It was reported earlier that all 14 suspects were arrested recently around Johor Bahru. Of the total 11 suspects, all locals have been remanded until November 5th, while 3 Vietnamese suspects in their 30s are being held until November 6th. One of the suspects is a 58-year-old woman believed to be the victim's family member. The 59-year-old businessman was allegedly abducted at about 5 a.m. on October 13th while waiting for an e-hailing driver to take him to the airport for a business trip abroad. He was safely released on the same day of the incident after his family paid a ransom of 20 million ringgit. The case is being investigated under the Kidnapping Act. GISB Holdings Sdn Berhad GISBH CEO Datuk Nasrudin Muhammad Ali and his wife Azura Muhammad Yusof, charged with involvement in an organised crime group, have filed a habeas corpus application seeking immediate release. The application also included Muhammad Suhaimi Muhammad Sani, a 28-year-old Ikhwan Cafe manager in Kluang, currently detained under the Security Offences Special Measures Act 2012 or SOSMA. The 3 applicants requested a writ of habeas corpus from the Johor Bahru High Court to release them from what they claim is unlawful detention. The couple, aged 68 and 57, also facing charges under SOSMA, filed the application at the High Court through their lawyer, Datuk Rosli Kamarudin, who represents all 3 applicants. High Court Judge Datuk Abu Bakar Qatar scheduled December 4th for the hearing of the habeas corpus application. At the Georgetown Magistrates Court, a fisherman was charged with the murder of a Pakistani man last week. 38-year-old Kyong Chan Kiam merely nodded to indicate he understood the charge, which was read to him by the court interpreter before Magistrate Muhammad Aslan Basri. No plea was recorded as the case is under the High Court's jurisdiction. Kyong is alleged to have murdered 48-year-old Rashid Mahmood at a shop in Lorong Burmat at about 4 p.m. on October 21st. The court set January 21st next year for the submission of the chemist and post-mortem reports. On October 21st, it was reported that a Pakistan man died while seeking treatment at a clinic on Jalan Datuk Keramat after being stabbed with a screwdriver. Selangor and Nitam part ways. The details after this breather.
Warga Selatan dah sedia? Jom ke Johor Bahru, kita gegarkan konsert Jom Heboh. Saksikan persembahan hebat selebriti tanah air seperti Nabila Razali, Ayu Damit, Jamil, Sukilo, Wani Hasrita, Dollar dan ramai lagi sepanjang 2 malam ini dengan hos Muaz Muhammad, Hanif Miswan dan Farah Nabila Wazir yang sedia menggamatkan konsert ini. Jangan lupa ke konsert Jom Heboh 2 dan 3 November ini di Padang B, Aksana Johor Bahru Mall mulai 9 malam. Jom, jom, jom!
Cepat! Uji bakat 1 in a Million bersama Kalpis dah mula ni. Takkan nak nyanyi depan cermin je. Tunjukkan juga bakat lain macam menari ke, boleh bermain alat muzik ke, lagi on. Boleh solo, duo atau berkumpulan. muat naik video nyanyian anda ke TikTok atau hadir ke lokasi uji bakat berikut. Dapatkan info lanjut di media sosial yang tertera. Segar rasa, sedap suara.
3 identiti, 1 misi. Si ayah seorang perisik. Si ibu pembunuh upahan. Dan si anak dengan kuasa telepati. Berpura-pura menjadi keluarga, tetapi ada rahsia yang disembunyikan. Saksikan Spy X Family setiap Ahad 11 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Awak sekarang ni kan semua benda nak dijadikan topik, setuju tak?
Semua benda dijadikan konten.
Tapi awak tahu kan saya suka makan ketam?
Takkan tidak. Pelbagai menu ketam kami bawakan minggu ini.
Ada yang tak boleh terima hakikat lepas tu hidup dalam penafian.
Ini bunyi-bunyi macam in denial akan kita bincangkan bersama.
Awak, pesta cahaya dah nak mula.
Istimewa sambutan di Bali kami bawakan Khamis nanti.
Tapi susah juga kan kalau pasangan yang asyik bagi alasan je.
Jangan bagi alasan untuk tidak menonton WHI TV3.
Tapi anda boleh stream di Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Back with sports, now football. Under pressure, Selangor FC head coach Nitam Jamil has resigned. The club confirmed his resignation in a statement released on Wednesday, adding that Nitam's assistant Abdi Hassan will take over as the interim head coach. Under Nitam's guidance as head coach, Selangor are currently second in the league, emerged as runner-ups in the FC Cup and also sit top of Group H in AFC Champions League 2. However, he had been facing increasing pressure from fans following their 3-0 defeat at home to Johor Darul Tazim in the Super League on Sunday. Still on football, the DFB Pokal Cup. A brace from Patrick Schick gave holders Bayer Leverkusen a 3-0 victory over Elversberg in their second-round clash. The hosts took the lead just 2 minutes into the game when Schick put the ball in the net from close range thanks to Nathan Teller's cross. Schick doubled the lead 7 minutes later, poking in from close range after Elversberg goalkeeper Nicolas Christoph spilled Jonas Hoffmann's cross. Leverkusen put the result beyond doubt late in the first half as Alex Garcia probed in a brilliant 25-yard free kick for a comfortable 3-0 victory. Still on football, the 2024 Saudi King Cup. Cristiano Ronaldo missed a rare penalty as Al Nassr was knocked out of the tournament after losing 1-0 to At-Tawun in the second round of 16 match. Al Nassr appeared as the more dominant side in the match, having most of the possession. However, they were denied many chances by man of the match At-Tawun goalkeeper Milson as he made 5 saves. The visitors broke the deadlock on the 71st minute as Walid headed in a beautifully delivered corner kick. Just 4 minutes into injury time, Al Nassr were gifted a lifeline as Walid committed a foul inside the penalty box. However, it was a rare occurrence as the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner skies his penalty. With the defeat, Al Nassr failed to replicate their last season's run when they reached the final, but unfortunately lost to Al Hilal. Moving on to tennis, the 2024 Paris Masters. Last year's runner-up, Grigor Dimitrov, secured a late break to win on his return to the French capital and keep his campaign alive. Taking on Argentinian Thomas Martin Echeverri, the 8th seed battled to a 6-7, 6-3, 7-5 victory in 2 hours and 44 minutes. Waiting for the Bulgarian is Frenchman wildcard Arthur Rinderknecht for a quarter-final place. Joining him was second seed Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz. He defeated Chilean Nicolas Pari 7-5, 6-1 to move into the last 16. The world number 2 will face either Frenchman Hugo Humbert or American qualifier Marcos Giron next. Also in the next round was Alexei Popyrin. He recorded an upset as he outplayed 4th-seeded Daniil Medvedev 6-4, 2-6, 7-6 in the 2 hours and 31 minutes match. Capturing his first win against Medvedev in 4 career meetings, Popyrin will next face Karen Khachanov or Giovanni Mpecci Parikar. Sugar import graft case, former trade minister arrested. News from the foreign front when Nightline returns.
Hello, apa khabar? Tengah buat apa tu? Hey, dah ready ke untuk generasi showdown?
Geng Boomers dah lama ready.
Alah, tanya Kak Jen why. We are ready when you are ready.
Cakap apa ni? Kita ni Gen Z tau. Mestilah kita orang terpaling ready. Dah lah, main nak buat live ni. Jumpa nanti.
Generasi Showdown, Gen yang real.
Cepat. Uji bakat 1 in a million bersama Kalpis dah mula ni. Takkan nak nyanyi depan cermin je. Tunjukkan juga bakat lain macam menari ke, boleh bermain alat muzik ke, lagi on. Boleh solo, duo atau berkumpulan. Buat naik video nyanyian anda ke TikTok atau hadir ke lokasi uji bakat berikut. Dapatkan info lanjut di media sosial yang tertera. Segar rasa, sedap suara.
Kita confirm kepadui.
Kalau kepadui tak guna, tak ada orang undi.
Tapi kat rumah tu gangan je ke apa? Undi. Langganlah tontonan. Boleh undi 100 kali tu.
Kalau tak langgan, 50 kali je boleh undi. Bukan mahal 20 ringgit 3 bulan.
Tak. Kita nak menang. Vote lah. Ni Naki nak bagi Smart TV tau.
Langgan dulu.
Undi padu.
Hashtag
berdua
lebih baik.
Aku sedang mencipta sebuah mesin masa hanya menggunakan peti sejuk.
Gadis dan Angan-Angan. Khamis hingga Sabtu 9 malam di Lestari TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
The city of Beit Lahia has been declared a disaster area as the Zionist military battered northern Gaza with airstrikes. The Beit Lahia municipality on Wednesday announced that the city is a disaster area as a result of the Zionist war of extermination and siege, which has led to a severe shortage of food, water, hospitals, doctors, services, and communications. The declaration came after an overnight attack that reportedly killed 8 people in the Salatin area of Beit Lahia in the north, close to where the Gaza Health Ministry said at least 93 were killed or missing in an Israeli airstrike that struck a multi-floor house on Tuesday. The area has been under relentless assault since the Zionist regime launched military operations focused in and around the Jabalia refugee camp in early October. In the meantime, 2 sources said that U.S. mediators are working on a proposal to halt hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah, starting with a 60-day ceasefire as the Zionist regime pressed its offensive, ordering residents to evacuate Lebanon's eastern city of Baalbek. The sources, a person briefed on the talks and a senior diplomat working on Lebanon, said the 2-month period would be used to finalize full implementation of United Nations Security Council Resolution 1701, adopted in 2006, to keep southern Lebanon free of arms outside state control. The latest effort comes as the Zionist regime's operation against Hezbollah in Lebanon continues to expand, with its army issuing a first evacuation order for Baalbek, where tens of thousands of Lebanese were residing. Zionist strikes on South Lebanon's Sarafand also killed 10 people on Tuesday, while a separate strike on the port city of Sidon killed at least 5 people. With less than a week until the 2024 U.S. Election Day, the race between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump remains tight. As of Tuesday, 538's daily election poll tracker showed Harris leading the national polls with a 1.5 percentage point advantage over Trump. Harris's lead, however, has decreased slightly from last week's 1.8-point margin, indicating that Trump is gradually closing the gap. In her campaign in Washington, Harris urged Americans to write the next chapter for their country and reject Trump's chaos and division as she delivered a powerful closing argument to voters on Tuesday. Harris then pivoted to an optimistic vision of America's future, using the setting of the White House lit up against the night behind her as a symbolic pitch to show that she is ready for the presidency. She was due to hold rallies in North Carolina, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin on Wednesday, where she will be encouraging voters in swing states to keep voting early ahead of Election Day. In the meantime, Trump has spent the last 2 days trying to tamp down a firestorm over his weekend rally in New York's famed Madison Square Garden, at which a warm-up comedian jibed that Puerto Rico is a floating island of garbage. Addressing supporters at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida, Trump called the New York event a love fest, the same phrase he has used to describe the Capitol riot. Trump was expected to be pitching to voters in North Carolina and will later go to Wisconsin, where he will be joined by Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre. So far, more than 53 million Americans have already voted in the election in a battle that will decide who runs the most powerful country for 4 years. Indonesian authorities investigating graft have arrested a former trade minister turned government critic on suspicion of improperly granting a sugar import permit in 2015 that led to losses of $25 million. Thomas Trikase Lembong was named a suspect and arrested late on Tuesday by prosecutors from the Attorney General's office, accused of giving the permit to a private company at a time when Indonesia had a surplus of sugar. Prosecutor Abdul Kohar stated that the permit allowed the import of 105 million kilograms of raw crystal sugar without consulting other state entities. This decision, he claimed, rejected industry ministry advice and caused financial damage to the nation. Despite the arrest, authorities have denied any political motives behind the investigation. A former investment banker, Lembong was Indonesia's trade minister between 2015 and 2016 and a close aide of former President Joko Widodo, for whom he often wrote international speeches. In other news, 5-meter waves pounded Taiwan shores on Wednesday as Super Typhoon Kong-Ray expected to strengthen before hitting the island as one of the most powerful in years. According to authorities, Kong-Ray is approaching Taiwan and is expected to make landfall in the lightly populated southeast on Thursday. More than a meter of rain could fall in the hardest-hit areas by Friday as the seasonal monsoon drenches the island of 23 million people, prompting warnings of landslides and evacuations in vulnerable areas. Classes and work were also suspended in Taitung County, while numerous ferry services and domestic flights were cancelled. Authorities also began evacuating residents from their homes in the southern seaport city of Kaohsiung, as well as in Yilan, Hualien, and Taitung. Kong-Ray is currently more powerful than Typhoon Gemi and is on track to become the strongest typhoon to hit Taiwan in 8 years if it maintains its current wind speed. At least 62 people have been killed in flash floods sweeping the eastern Spanish region of Valencia on Wednesday, following torrential rains that left roads and towns underwater. Valencia regional leader Carlos Mazon said that emergency services had problems reaching certain areas, adding that some people remained isolated in inaccessible locations. Following this, more than 1,000 soldiers from Spain's emergency response units were deployed to affected areas, and the central government set up a crisis committee to help coordinate rescue efforts. Emergency services in Valencia had also urged citizens to avoid any kind of road travel and to follow further updates from official sources. According to authorities, while the rain had subsided in Valencia by late Wednesday morning, Spain's National Weather Service forecasts more storms through Thursday. Nightline draws to a close this time around. Let's take a look as thousands gathered in London's Trafalgar Square to enjoy performances and traditional dishes in conjunction with the Deepavali celebration. I'm Natasha Busst. Happy Deepavali and stay safe.